Well, here I am for a second time this morning because I went ahead and washed out the milk frother. I want to see how this hemp milk tastes. Okay, but first, I've got the hemp milk. Here's some Chobani oat milk. Here's some Oatly Super Basic. I just wanted to compare what's in them, okay? Because on the last video, I mentioned what was in the hemp milk, and I noticed that it was different than the nutrition that's in some of these other milks. So here is the Oatly Super Basic Oat Milk, okay? So this has 1 gram of fat and 16 grams of carbohydrates. So the carbohydrates account for most of the calories. There's 3 grams of protein, okay? But as far as vitamin D, nothing. Calcium, nothing. Iron, nothing. It has some potassium, okay? Let's look at the Chobani here, okay? This is the Chobani, 50 calories per cup. We got 2 grams of fat, 7 of carbohydrates, 1 of protein. Okay, so for vitamin D, 15% of your daily requirement. No iron, 15% vitamin A, 20% calcium, and it's got some potassium, okay? Now, let's look at the hemp milk, alrighty? So this is 60 calories per cup, 4.5 grams of fat, and 1 gram of carbohydrate, 3 grams of protein. So most of the calories are coming from the fat in this, okay? And then it's got 10% of your vitamin D, it's got 8% of your iron, 20% of your calcium, some potassium, and some magnesium. Okay, so as far as calcium goes, it's got 20%. So does the Chobani, but the Oatly Super Basic doesn't have a whole lot of, nutrition in it, okay? Or, vitamins and minerals anyhow. So the hemp milk is looking pretty good. Of course, none of this compares well with cow's milk, but that's okay. Alrighty, now, I have got my milk frother. All right, how am I going to do this here? I need another set of hands. Okay, I'm going to take the hemp milk. All righty, and I'm going to put in the same amount. Let me turn this around. The same amount that I had earlier. Okay, it was about that much. Oh, golly, if this froths up a whole lot, then I'm going to be in trouble, but that's okay. All right, into the milk frother, and we put on the lid, and we take it over here. Okay, we'll plug it in. Come on, plug. There we go. And push the little button. All right, so here we go. And we'll see what happens with this hemp milk. Does it froth a lot? A little? Not at all? So, of course, the milk frother is heating it up and whirring it around. And we'll see if it, how it comes out. Some people like fine bubbles. Some people like big bubbles. Some people like a mixture. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's increasing the volume all that much, but we'll see. Oh, here, isn't this a nice view? Sorry. As you know, this is a seat of the pants operation. When I do stuff, I do it with you for the first time. I don't practice or anything. Okay. Oh, well, it looks like it made a froth. Okay, so, a lot of people who make videos on Facebook and YouTube and stuff, they have people that help them. They have like a crew. you're looking at the crew here. Ooh, whoa. And there's still plenty more. Well, this frothed up. Okay, it more than doubled the amount. All right. Let me get, I'll get one of my little spoons here. What's this one? This one is like a pansy. This one's like a pansy. Yeah. Okay, let me taste the froth. Oh, it's nice. Look at that. I have tasted this before in something else. You know, I think that maybe it just tastes like some other kind of plant milk that I've had in the past. That's all I can think of. You know what I'm gonna do though? Here, I had an idea. Let me pour this back in here. All right, I'll show you what I'm gonna do. I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner. All right, where did I put the lid to the hemp milk? Oh dear me. How could I lose something? This counter space is so small. Well, I put the milk frother on top of the lid to the hemp milk. Okay, you know what? Let me pop these back in the fridge real quick, okay? Because who knows how long I'm gonna go on talking here, and I don't need for these things to be setting out any longer than necessary. Okay, so I'm gonna turn my machine on, and as before, I've got a Vienna Lungo, okay? But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extract it right here into this, because this is, even though it's, you know, frothed up so much, it's the same amount of hemp milk that I made earlier. Okay, all right, the machine is ready. Close it. Oh, good. Okay, and the Lungo button. Because all of this was not gonna fit into that little cup. All righty. Now, you know, you may say, so you used hemp milk before, now you frothed it up. What's the difference? Well, does it make a difference to you when you have something, you know, well, I was going to use eggs as an example, but yeah, okay, eggs is a good example. So is it different if you're making eggs, you know, you mix them up and then you fry them in the pan and you just have some, you know, like a flat layer of eggs? Or is it different if you really whip them up a whole lot so you have something fluffy and you've got, you know, a nice fluffy omelet? Yeah, there's a difference. So I'm comparing the milk, you know, that was just plain old milk that was kind of like the flat egg, you know, to this is like the fluffy omelet. Okay, just kind of mixing it up. I keep getting caught on the little stirring spring down there. Okay, I think, well, yeah, I could put it back on there to give it a mix, right? I'll do that. All right, let's go over here. All righty, and okay, so, oh, all right. Why is this not working? Oh, I keep popping the little, there we go. Seriously? All right, I only have like one little thing plugged in here with it, just a clock. The little green light's on. Oh, you know what? Okay, I bet I know what it is. All right, we'll skip it this time. What it is if this thing is too hot, yeah, it's not going to turn back on. Okay, well, I'll give it a few more. All right, now, here we go. Wow. My goodness. Okay, so you can see there is a lot of froth. Look at all of that. Okay, so now here's the question. Oh, this is kind of nice, you know? This has a nicer mouthfeel with the froth. I am going to put a little sweetener in, though. The hemp milk doesn't seem to have, I don't know, it doesn't seem to have the richness of, for example, the Chobani oat milk, which is my favorite that I've tried so far. I would think it would, since there's so much fat in this hemp milk, but, you know, it's hemp milk, and I guess it's different than oats, right? I always thought that I would like a higher fat milk, but I guess in this case, that's not so. Little tiny bit more, okay? You know, I was talking about hot fudge before in the last video and marshmallow sauce. I wonder if I got some hot fudge and put it in the coffee. Oh, I'll have to think about that. This is nice. It is, but you know, again, I'm going to add one of these little coffee mate things because it's lacking something in the mouth feel of it. It's like too thin, too wimpy kind of. Oh, hey, Jennifer and Calvin. Hi, thanks for joining me. This is the second video this morning because I'm working with hemp milk and I just kind of had to do some more stuff with it. Oh, this is pretty good. You know, again, I still have so much more in here. I probably have almost another cup in here because it frothed up so much. So the coffee flavor is a little bit diluted because it's mixed in with so much froth. You know, it's dispersed through so much froth, but it's pretty good. Okay, not bad. You know, when you find something you like I like that Chobani oat milk, it sort of feels like, you know, why try to get up close and personal with something else? Just not sure about this, but like I said, I'm gonna try it over the next few days and see, maybe I'll get used to it and maybe I'll find things about it that I like. You know, when you try something new, your senses are overwhelmed with the newness, the differentness of it, okay? Or it may remind you of something else. The thing is, you need to try it over several different trials, okay? Because as you become more familiar with it, then you'll start to notice different things about it. You know, it's kind of like meeting a person. When you first meet them, you get a certain impression of them. But then as you get to know them in successive meetings, you begin to notice other things about them. Some things you may appreciate, some things you may, you know. So it's kind of the same thing with foods, and it's the same thing with coffees, and in this case with things that lighten coffee that we're trying today. So, you know, I just wanted to encourage you. You know, it always drives me crazy when somebody says, oh, meatloaf, I don't like meatloaf. Lasagna, I don't like lasagna, for example. Or fish, I don't like fish. How many different ways are there to prepare fish? Or lasagna, or meatloaf. I mean, I have never had the same, like different people preparing lasagna. Each one is always different. Now, if you don't like cheese or you don't like pasta, okay, you know, but if you don't have anything against those things, don't judge just by one kind of lasagna that you've tried, you know? You need to go ahead and try other ones. Same thing with coffee, all right? So it's like somebody saying, coffee, oh, I don't like coffee. Well, you know what? When I tried an espresso for the first time, I was like, oh, my gosh, this is different than the kind of coffee I've had in the past. And then as I tried each different kind of capsule, wow, each one was different. I didn't know that there could be differences. Same thing with a lot of stuff. You know what? I'll just say one more thing. Vanilla ice cream. Well, for that matter, chocolate ice cream. Different brands, different companies. They all may call it vanilla. Each one tastes a little different. Or they all may say this is chocolate. You know, some are more chocolatey, some are less. Some are more, you know, bitter or dark chocolatey. Some are very milky. They're just all, you know what? Enjoy your food. Let it be an adventure. Okay, I'm going to get off here before I get totally, we'll go down the rabbit hole of, you know, food and drinks and people and who knows what else. All right, look, you have a good day, and I will talk to you soon. I'm not coming back on this morning. We'll wait till tomorrow at least.